Hey everybody, this is Dr. Doug Smith. It is 2:30 on a Tuesday, so it is now time for our Monday through Thursday 2:30 podcast. This is a podcast where you will hear the science about what actually happened in this opioid crisis, and there's some science up on the screen in front of you. By the way, speaking of the screen in front of you, uh, Alex and I are going to try and get to where you can actually see me, and we'll have a podcast like other people have podcasts, and you can actually see the presenter. That's something we're going to be working on here in the coming weeks. We should be able to do that. But for now, let's take a look at at what's on the screen in front of you. I'm of a previous generation, and a common thing we would say is, I had dialogue with somebody this morning. And so here's my question. Okay, I had dialogue with a cardiothoracic surgeon this morning, but it was all text. So if you communicate with someone in a dialogue back and forth, and it goes on for a conversation, is that actually dialogue, or is it just texting? And is there a difference? I'm not anything I'm certainly going to lose any sleep over, but I had a texting dialogue with a cardiothoracic surgeon this morning. And what we were discussing is what's on the screen right in front of you right there. Okay. And wow, did this get his attention? Okay. This got his attention. He is a cardiothoracic surgeon. Okay. Cardiac index is something that they pay attention to during surgery. Okay, because you don't want to overstress a heart. Okay, and 2 to 4 is normal. Okay, what you're looking at on the screen right there in front of you is an average of 4.7. Now, let me walk you through this. Okay, we went over this the other day, but I wanted to share with everybody this image again and go over this again, because I want to stress on everybody that when I put this in front of a cardiothoracic surgeon, okay, I got a very real response. Okay, this is real science. This is real data. Okay, the psychiatrists no, they're not real scientists. Their nonsense is not real data. It's junk. It's pseudoscience. It's a fake science. Okay, that's how this whole opioid thing came about. Okay, people started treating fake science as if it was real science. That's the one of the main themes of the book. Is that this is a warning. Don't treat fake science as real science. And if you do treat fake science as real science, you may not get you may get an outcome, a consequence that you're not going to be happy with. Okay, imagine the scientists at NASA. Okay, imagine if they used pseudoscience, fake science. Okay, those astronauts aren't coming home. They're going to all die. There's a price to pay for embracing fake science. Okay, and unfortunately, the price to pay this time was paid by millions and millions of innocent citizens. Okay, and the fake science just ignored tons and tons and tons of scientific evidence. Okay, if you want to go through all the scientific evidence that got ignored, it's in the book. Okay, it's in the book. Speaking of the book, by the way, after the podcast, Alex, I'm going to be sending you in a couple hours chapter 4, ready to upload to the portal for the editors. Finally got that beast done. And just so everybody knows, chapter 4 is the chapter where we go through the DNA evidence in enormous detail. Okay, and chapter 4, I actually make the comment that to continue to call these people opioid addicts or use a diagnosis opioid use disorder, it's just insane. It's insane. And to diagnose somebody with opioid addiction or opioid use disorder, to do that is an act of malpractice. That's how strong this scientific evidence is, which is why we want as many people as possible to sign up with us and work with us, and let's get these mass tort lawsuits filed. But anyway, what's on the screen in front of you had a real impact on the cardiothoracic surgeon, and let me tell you why. We looked at it the other day, but let's look at it again. Okay, this is from a German anesthesiologist. Okay, why was it German? Why was this study not done in the United States? Well, because in 1992, all the money, it's always about the money, all the money for opioid research got turned over to NIDA, National Institute for Drug Abuse, which is just ground zero for misinformation. And they're not going to fund anything like this. Okay, they're going to fund their little pet projects of the dopamine theory of addiction. And they're spending billions and billions of dollars trying to prove the dopamine theory of addiction, which they're never going to be able to prove, at least when it comes to the opioids, because the science isn't there. It's not true. Okay, but they are spending billions of dollars, and they're not doing research like what you see in front of you here. Now, what you see in front of you here, let me explain to you what this is before we run out of time here. Okay, this was 10 volunteers from the local methadone clinic, okay, in Germany, and they volunteered to do this study with this German anesthesiologist, Kainbaum, Dr. Kainbaum, who said, "Look, I'm going to put you to sleep, and then after I put you to sleep, I'm going to give you some Narcan, naloxone. I'm going to put you in withdrawal, and we're going to keep you asleep for 3 hours, and we're going to monitor your vital signs and blood work and all that stuff." And so what you see on the screen here, okay, is there at first. Okay, you see the anesthesiologist puts them to sleep, and what we're looking at here on the left, look for the words cardiac index. Okay, that's how much blood is being pushed out by the heart, index to the size of the body. And at first, when they get put to sleep, you can see cardiac index goes down. Well, that's what happens when you put people under anesthesia. Okay, everything just slows down. Okay, and then all of a sudden you see the cardiac index, shoot back up. Okay, that's when they gave the naloxone. Okay, and as soon as they gave the naloxone and put these opioid dependent people into withdrawal, bam, there goes the cardiac index back up. And you see it goes back up. Okay, and I want to point out two things here that are very dangerous. This is what got the attention of the cardiothoracic surgeon this morning. I'm going to point out two things here to you that are very dangerous. Number one, when it goes back up to an average of 4.7. 4.7 liters per minute per meter squared. Okay, that means the heart for most people is pumping about 2 gallons a minute. Okay, go get a gallon of water or a gallon of milk. Okay, pick it up. A gallon of water weighs 8 pounds. Okay, now get a second one. 2 gallons. Okay, the heart's going to push 2 gallons of blood forward per minute. That's not going to last a long time. The heart can't do that forever. Okay, that's working the heart too hard. Okay, and that's what you see. You see the cardiac index go up, and so the first thing that's really dangerous is that it goes up to 4.7. Anything above 4 is high output cardiac failure. Anything above 4 is high output cardiac failure. Let me say that again. Anything above 4 is high output cardiac failure, and high output cardiac failure will kill you. And this is well above 4. It's 4.7. So the first thing is that it goes up to 4.7. The second thing is, now look at it closely, it never comes back down. It never comes back down. It never comes back down. Kainbaum ends the study at 3 hours, 180 minutes. That's the end of it. No more data. We'll wake them up. Okay, that's the end of the study, 3 hours. But their cardiac index never came back down. How long is it going to stay up? Hours, days? Okay, you guys that have been through withdrawal, okay, you felt your heart pounding. You felt the increased heart rate and the pounding. Okay, that's your cardiac index right there. Okay, how long did it stay up? Days? Yeah, it did. It did. And for days, you experienced a cardiac index in a dangerous zone. And that's what killed 4 million people. You're looking at it right there. Went up and stayed up. It's that simple. Went up and stayed up. You don't believe it? How can you not believe it? It's on the screen right in front of you. It goes up and it stays up. Okay, goes up and it stays up. By the way, those little lines that are perpendicular and they go above the average and below the average, those were individual people. Who had the highest, who had the lowest. Okay, who had the highest, who had the lowest, and some of the people there. I mean, you see their cardiac indexes. It's approaching 8. I mean, it's horrendous. Or 7 at least. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's call it 6. Sorry, I'm looking at the small screen just like you guys are. I mean, these are horrendous cardiac indexes, and it certainly got the attention of the cardiothoracic surgeon because this is going to kill people, and it did. All right, we're going to hold here for today. Certainly appreciate your time and listening to us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to us. Don't forget to post this podcast on your social media, everybody else's social media. If you haven't signed up with us yet to be in the first wave of the mass tort lawsuits, please do. That's how we're going to turn this thing around. That's how we're going to stop this. Alex, I'll get chapter 4 over to you, and then Alex, after chapter 4, I'll finish the graphics on chapter 1. And then Alex, you and I are going to finish the submission for the FDA and get that into this week, first part of next week, and start the 30-day clock again. So everybody have a great day. Please come back and be with us again tomorrow. Alex, thank you for everything that you do, and we'll see y'all again tomorrow. Bye-bye.